Elohim is truly good to Israel. And that Elohim is speaking of the whole body of Yahuwah, the whole body of Messiah. Not only the Father or the Son, but also the angels and the messengers, the great cloud of witnesses that prays for you right now. Okay, to those whose heart is clean. So this individually, because you see, is clean. I'm talking about one individually. Verse 2. But as for me, my feet have had almost stumbled. My steps had nearly slipped. For I was envious of the boasters when I saw the peace of the evildoers. For death has no pangs for them, and their strength is firm, and they are not in trouble as other men, and they are not plagued like other men. I've seen that, guys. Anybody that is not being plagued like other men, that means that they are not in the Messiah or of the Messiah. And so when you have much trouble, be comforted, okay? It means that you are in Messiah because he flogs those he loves, right? Verse 5. They are not in trouble. Oh, I already read that one. As other men, and they are not plagued like other men. Verse 6. So pride is their necklace. The garment of violence covers them. So if you want to be an abuser of the bride to help, and you want to be an evil person and abuse the bride, God will use you to refine and purify the bride. But woe to you, just like you would say for um, the man who, Jesus said, the man who gave him up to the priest, right, to be crucified. Said, woe to him, for it would be better that he had never lived. So you must be very careful that you're not persecuting the saints. Yes, Eli, God bless you. Okay, back to verse 7. Their eyes bulge from fatness, their heart overflows with imaginations, and and they mock and speak in the evil of oppression. They speak lofty. They have set their mouth against the Shemaim, against heaven, right? And their tongue walks through the Eretz, the earth, saying, therefore, his people return here. And see, that's what they're doing. They're saying, oh, don't follow the light. You'll just be returned right back here to the earth. That is a lie that the devil is putting out, okay? Let's see. Cheese says hi. Hi, Cheese. Hello, Dakota, Nikki, and what am I doing? I'm reading you the verses of Psalms, the scriptures of Psalms 73, and and trying to put them into context. So the wicked, they mock and speak in the evil of the oppression, in the evil of oppression, they speak lofty, and they have set their mouths against the heavens, okay? And their tongue against, and their tongue walks through the earth, the Eretz, saying, Therefore, his people return here. In other words, they're saying, well, when you die, you just come back. You are, you just come back into the earth as a new person. And that's one of the things that's being given out. Um, y'all, quit it, Nikki. I mean, my son, he says that all the time. I am not that age. You see the gray hair in my head? You see that gray hair? See that gray hair? Okay. I don't like to speak of things that I do not know of. Okay? And I do not know of this. My son says it's funny, but I don't know. And I choose not to put my mouth around things that I do not know. Sometimes I do, and so I repent. Hi. Very good. Hi. Life. Speak life. Yes, Nikki, I already did several times. Nikki Nicholas. Hello, Matteo. Okay. Um, so reincarnation, you're not going to be reincarnated. Have hope. You're going to be taken back to the Father and into his bosom. Okay. Verse 11. And they have said, how could Alua, that's the Father or God, right? How could Alua know? Aren't they saying that right now? How could God know when he's coming back? And is there knowledge in the Most High? That's exactly what they're saying. Verse 12. See, there are the wrong. These are the wrong, and always at ease. They have amassed wealth. They have great wealth, right? So they don't want to go to heaven yet. They don't want the rapture to happen. But there is much. God sends things, warnings before the time. Okay, there's an appointed time, and He'll send things before the time. And He's done that for me also. So when we see something, we don't know if it's past, present, or future. So don't give up. Hello, Garcia. I tell you some. Whatever, Brother Granny. I'm not a boy. I'm all girl. I'm just Choctaw Indian, so I'm a little. But my blood type is now Yahuwah blood type. Yahusha, right? Moving on. Speaking of blood. Verse 13. Indeed, in vain have I cleansed my heart and washed my hands in innocence, for I am plagued all yom long. So that's how we feel, right? The bride of Christ, we feel plagued all day long. And my reproof is every morning. God's always telling us what we need to do right, right? That's right. It's very near. It is very near. But it also could have already happened in 70. I believe that the rapture happened in 70 AD. And what we're waiting for now is Yahuwah to come and settle on the earth, on the Eretz, to bring his holy mountain onto the Eretz and make a new heaven and a new earth. I've seen not a rapture, but I've seen a black hole come and suck up everything. So, what I think's coming is totally different than. I don't see a rapture of souls. I see a rapture of land and lights in the sky, the sun and the moon. Just like you see in Joel, it says that the sun and the moon and all the stars are going to be gone. So Everybody sees differently, and that's probably because they're not word based. If you're word based, you get the word fed back to you in your dreams. It says, verse 15, if I had said, let me speak thus, see, I would have deceived a generation of your children. So, that's what the devil's doing. He's deceiving a generation. Verse 16, yet when I tried to understand this, it was labor to my eyes. So, seriously, the great white throne, I think, is our next destination. And the bride, right? And I am all for him rapturing us. But he has not shown me quite that. He's just shown me leaving this body and going into a new body, receiving a new robe. Um, if that's what you call rapture, then I guess that's rapture. But if it means that we come into a new heaven, that the sun gets a new tent, and that we get a new tent just like the sun gets a new tent, then that's what's going to happen. Verse 17, until I went into the set apart place of Elua, where then I received therein. So when he went and asked of God, he went to a set apart place and prayed to God. Not till then did he see the end of the evil and the evildoers and the lie that they are telling, right? Verse 18. But God says he does not lie and that he doesn't give a false vision. So if he gave that to them, that you can't say nothing about that. You have to respect that. But look at what he's given you, okay? And what he gave me looks totally different than what he's giving everyone else. But it might be their future. They might be they might have a different future. We got to be careful. Better not speak of things we know not of, right? Verse 18. Indeed, you set them in slippery places. You make them fall to ruins. How suddenly they are ruined, completely swept away through destruction. Yahuwah, when you awake, you despise their image. Ooh, he doesn't even like what you look like. As one does a dream after waking. For my heart was in a ferment. Ferment. For my heart was in a ferment. Ferment. I think it means firmament. And I was pierced in my courage. I was stupid and ignorant, and I was like a beast toward you. Yet I am always with you. You took hold of my right hand. Whew, I can tell you that. I did some stupid stuff in my visions of dreams with God and repented of them. I saw my spirit just blah, 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 blah. And I said, shut up. Don't tell God everything. We've made mistakes. Like God don't know everything already. Keep your mouth shut at the white throne. Don't say that. It doesn't work. Your spirit's going to tell all. It's just going to blab it. Blah, 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 blab. Verse 24. You lead me by your counsel. and afterward receive me to esteem. Whom do I have in the Shamayim? Like, who's for me in the heavens, right? And I have desired no one beside you on Eretz, on earth, right? Verse 25, pardon me, there's verse 26. My flesh and my heart shall waste away, but Elohim is the rock. No, so this is Elohim. I think it should be Alua. But Alua is my rock of my heart and my portion forever. Because Alua means love, joy, and peace. It means the one true God, the rock, the Almighty God, the Most High. Verse 27. For look, those who are far from you perish. You shall cut all those who go whoring away from you. But as for me, it is good to be near Elohim or Alua. I have made my refuge in the Master, Yahuwah, to declare all your works. So that's what I'm doing this morning, is I'm declaring his works, for he has saved my life. Actually, I think it left and he gave it back to me. He turned my life back to me after a car wreck last night. My car has no scratches on it and my body is not crushed, but I could feel my body being crushed from this side over to here. Right there. Like that. And God gave me back my Hayy. He gave me back my life. God bless you. For rewatching ability, I don't know if there's rewatchability here because I interacted with people on the line and there was some disturbances. But just so you know what some of the disturbances is one person said the rapture is never happening. And that's not true. Because that means past, present, and future. And it may happen a different way than you think. Okay? And I believe that the rapture happened in 70 AD. I believe the Great White Throne judgment the souls will be separated. Some to grace and some to disgrace. Some to esteem and some to hell. And that's what we're waiting for right now. I've actually seen the resurrection of some, and I think it's now. I've seen evil spirits who were resurrected and we're still walking around on the earth. I think that those resurrected of that are in the family of God are going into the Shamayim to be collected by him to come right back for a showdown in the new heaven and the new earth, or in the Armageddon war. But I also saw that Satan's minions have been coming out of the ground. So I've seen beings dripping with fire and brimstone walking around on the earth, especially in Houston. So I believe that there is a conqueror, Messiah, and he is on his way, or here already. How would you know if he was here or not? If you're not spiritual, how would you know? What would you see? What would you experience? The resurrection of the dead. Well, he resurrected me yesterday, so he is here in a form. He is here. God bless you.